Doing some sights in Raleigh today, beginning at this chimney. So fasten your lap belts, tighten your chin strap. We'll see how this goes. Currently walking up the 3200 block of Wade Avenue in Raleigh. Why, you may ask? It's loud as crap out here. It's pretty much an expressway. I don't know what the speed limit is, but nobody's doing it. I'm coming up here to 3215 Wade Avenue. Why, you may ask again? It's because they've got this house here that's a facade. That looks like a normal house, but it's actually a pump house. Kind of neat, pretty sweet, but that's actually a pump house that was built in 1978, because we're in kind of a pretty nice neighborhood, a bunch of older houses, and I guess nobody wanted a pump station parked next to their house. So they made this thing. It's got 3 large pumps and it does about 25 million gallons a day to all these residences out here. You may ask yourself too, what is a pump station? Well, it could be a number of things. It could be an inline booster pump to get water from a source to its destination, because obviously it's going to slow down. It could have something where it gets up into elevated tanks, all kinds of things. But out here, they basically got this thing. It looks like a house. That's not. Pretty cool. So $25 million or 25 million gallons of water a day is what this thing can pump out. So it's a lot like having a teenager showering at your house. So yeah, 3215 Wade Avenue. In the middle of, when I got the address, I rode out here. You about slam on brakes to find the place because it just fits right in. It's kind of cool. So, yeah. Currently at the corner of Harrington and Morgan, heading down to the Morgan Street Food Hall, some kind of indoor food emporium that's like a bunch of food trucks without the trucks. Heard good things. Look forward to it. Hopefully there's a lobster roll involved in my near future. So not bad. However, no lobster roll. I got a threshold of $14 I'm willing to spend on a lobster roll, and those were 20. I just can't spend that much on such a useless decapod. These crustaceanal lobsters, we've got to stop putting such a high value on these things. I mean, they're okay, but I'm a scallop will whip a lobster's butt any day of the week, and we don't pay that for scallops. A scallop roll. Anyway, this place was they don't want to be known as a food court because they want to consider it they called it a shared dining experience. You know what I call that? A food court, okay? Because every time I've ever gone to a food court, he gets a burger, I get a hot dog, he gets a pizza, we meet at the same table and we share our dining experience, because that's what that's called. So a horse by any other name is what it is, but not bad. I had a pita, as you saw. Everything's overpriced. You'd have to refinance your house to eat there every day, but the food was cool. I mean, they had fish and chips and curry and some kind of like dessert place that had all these like crazy looking banana puddings and all these little cakes and stuff in a cup that, people go crazy over these days. And the people in Raleigh, man, these they're not even yuppies anymore. Whatever the children of yuppies are, they got to come up with a new word for them, because, man, they all dress the same, and it's just funny. There's little young professionals rolling in there with their, $17 cheeseburger lunch. It's just funny, but not bad. Cool idea. You got to love the when people are, cities, municipalities all across the country nowadays are getting in this line of the fad of taking these old buildings and repurposing them for apartments or eateries like this, or show spaces, halls, all kinds of stuff. It's just cool because the architecture is just so industrial and cold and everything, but it just fits so perfectly in that venue. So not bad. I did it, so we're here, whatever. So I'm gonna get back to the car and go find something else to do. I'm at the North Carolina Museum of Art, and behind me is Ulalu, La La La, Ulala. I don't know how to pronounce it. And it doesn't really give me a description of what it's supposed to mean. Maybe that's up to interpretation. And although impressive, it's only impressive to me in terms of construction. And it's not even that bad. I mean, a bunch of drill bits, some welders, and there's nothing complex about this. More than anything, you just need some gantries and some lifts and some small crane to get it all put together. But putting it together, festooning it into what it is, I don't understand. I mean, it's more a matter of you're a talented welder or you're a talented metal worker to cut through all that stuff and have the patience to go through, that much work with a torch to cut that stuff away. But I don't understand art like this. It just never makes any sense to me. It's not even supposed to be shaped like anything, it doesn't appear. But here we are. I've got a few skills in life. I can tell you what you drive when I first meet you without knowing anything else about you. I can hide stuff from myself in a way that I'll never find it for months and months, but no one else is either. I can rearrange the furniture in a room such that you'll look at it and think, this will never work, but it does. I can tell you what your pet's name really should have been, not the stupid name that you decided it should be. And lastly, I can gauge the height of really tall structures pretty accurately. I said 135. Turns out this smokestack is 130. And apparently, the steps that they've got in between, my estimation, are about 8 feet apart. They made men differently back then. I'm gonna tell you right now, if this isn't on loan from the Wallace Simpson Museum Park, of all them whirly gigs in Wilson, North Carolina, I'm just gonna attach a line to it and pull it down because somebody's ripped that man off. Guy died in 2013. Y'all over here just making a mockery of his life's work. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. Well, thank God. I thought I was gonna have to smack a bitch. Active apiary, bees at work, as they should be, because these are some of the most important creatures that we have in our known universe. The destruction of bees in this country, I don't think we understand how important this is, but I've looked into beekeeping, but you gotta have enough room to keep all the bees like 100 yards from your property. I just don't have a place that's conducive to that. But those little bastards are the most fascinating creatures on earth. And I'm gonna stand here until I get stung, and then I'm gonna leave. Knowing what I know about structural steel, I can only begin to guess what this project cost. And what everybody doesn't even think about when they ride their bicycles and walk their dogs across this is how many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars this project costs. But pretty cool park so far. It's neat that it leads to this. Apparently that takes you down to like Meredith College and downtown and whatnot if you have the fortitude to keep on trucking. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool out here. I was also glad to find out that this is not a dedicated wildlife crossing like some places have put in for deer and elk and bear and whatnot to learn how to cross the road. But living in our world, either look left, look right, look left again, or get hit by a car. I really don't care about deer. They've destroyed enough of my stuff that it's okay if they get hit by some stuff every once in a while. And those populations need to thin, and maybe cars are the way to help do that. But so it was nice to know this wasn't covered in like ferns and trees and bushes and whatnot for squirrels and dingoes and narwhals. So here we are at this Bilbo Baggins looking hut. It's called the Cloud Chamber. And it's basically just a little structure that you walk into and crush your head. And inside there's a little aperture in the ceiling. And when you shut the door, everything goes black. You sit on these 3 benches. And being that everything's white on the inside, it projects all the trees and the sky and everything down onto the floor and the walls. But what it doesn't do is what I just said. It's just black in here with a pinhole of light shining through. It's a cool structure. It's neat. I mean, it's well made and everything. The roof is pretty intricately laid, how they've sewn these bars together and all, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what, but not impressed with the way it works, but the structure of it is not bad. 1780, General Cornwallis marched his troops into Charlotte, and those patriot locals fought so hard that he eventually referred to it as a hornet's nest of rebellion, which is why Charlotte uses the hornet's nest as its logo, which is kind of weird that it's in Raleigh. And I can only begin to imagine how long this took, because basically they're each individual pieces all slung together in tiers and strata, and this was all obviously torn up by a chainsaw. Good Lord. I mean, that probably took 19 chainsaw blade or chains to go through. It's pretty crazy though. It's impressive. I'm gonna go read the sign to find out exactly what it does mean. I wonder what it's really light wood. It's not very dense. Can't tell what it is with it being all weathered, but it was made in 2009. It's cedar. That makes sense. And graphite. I don't know what the graphite is, but at any rate, that kind of rounds up what we've done out here at the NCMA. So have yourself a good day. Hey, giddy up.